Today on Sports Around the Bar, we are discussing everything we learned during week 2 of the NFL season.
Did we learn anything? That's real. That's a real question.
I got a couple nuggets that I think are pretty important. That might change the game forever going forward. So stay tuned for that. How about a teaser like that? The NFL will change forever. Are we clickbaiting right now, Drew?
I guess we are.
We're not clickbaiting.
Is that how low we've come?
Yes. 12 ways the NFL is rigged.
Rigged.
No, but I do think that there is something that is kind of going under the radar that nobody's talking about, and that is that the NFL is juicing the kicking balls. Can we talk about that? I mean, this week, 64 yards for Dallas to get to overtime, and that thing would have been good for 80, Drew.
By Aubrey, who is a former soccer player. Mm. You know,
there are a lot of former soccer players. If that's all it took,
he's got a great leg.
I think we can find another soccer player.
He's been able to kick these long field goals for a long time.
Yep. Nothing to see here, folks. 64-yard field goal that probably went 80. No problem. Take a look at the clip right here and let us know what you think.
Trying to hit from 64 yards to send this game into overtime. Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way, it is good!
That thing was halfway through the upright.
It wasn't. Okay, it was. It was halfway up through the upright.
On top of it, you have records set for punt distances in the preseason. We saw another 70-yard field goal in the preseason. Nick Folk hit a 57-yard field goal. 42-year-old Nick Folk hit a 57-yard field goal when, for the past few years of the Titans, they haven't attempted one from longer than 53.
Jake Elliott has seemed to be able to take care of all of his woes of last year where he couldn't hit a 50-yard plus field goal all season last year. Finally, it started to hit him now. But you're also seeing the opposite. You're seeing Harrison Butker not being able to kick and miss. You're seeing a lot of missed field goals as well. So are they gassing it up for distance? But they're
that's the thing. We can't line it up for you. You get to turn a fan on and then push it to the right, just hit the giant fan.
I mean, if they're gassing it, well,
the real question,
maybe it's harder to aim.
The real question to me, Drew. Well, first let's talk about the rule change. Obviously, if you haven't heard, instead of an hour before the game where teams were getting their kicking balls, now they're giving the balls 3 days ahead of time where they can massage them, potentially drain some of the air out and stick something else in there, like helium, nitrogen. I would never accuse anyone of doing that, but it's a little weird. They didn't just add 1 or 2 or 3 yards to these kicks by massaging the balls, Drew. I mean, that was 10 yards. I'm sorry, that was a 10. Once upon a time, nobody could hit a 64-yarder, and now that was 80, and you're telling me nothing's different where overnight this rule change happened? I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it.
Yeah, and like you said, during the preseason, you had the Jags kicker, and I can't think of his name right now, hit a 70, which is – that would be the record.
Yeah.
If it was regular season.
Exactly. And, again, you're seeing it with punt hang time and everything else.
I should probably get his name for us just so,
This is why we have an editor.
Yeah.
Let's make that guy do it.
Right here.
Fair enough. But, yeah, Drew – The kicking game has never been easier, in my opinion. We're just going to have to see how it goes going forward because, this is going to ruin every record out there.
Cam Little. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. This has no bearing on, all your stats in the past. Since it has no bearing. That has a ton of bearing on it.
It really does, yeah.
But almost every stat, you just throw it out right now. Scoring even, because how much easier is it going to be to put 3 points on the board? If you could kick an 80-yard field goal and you start at the 35 with the new touchback rules, Drew, you have to go forward 3 yards to kick a field goal. Is it just arena football now?
I mean, hopefully that's not happening.
I hate it.
Hopefully the development of kickers are just getting better. You're getting, they're learning how to stretch their leg different.
But everybody all at once?
It happens.
Pass me the crack pipe, dude. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry.
I just don't want to believe that my beloved NFL would cheat.
This would be like if you're watching hockey and they're like, let's make the goal twice as big, or basketball, and they say, let's make the hoop twice as big. And then they want to act like it's a big deal that they're scoring more. It's like, yeah, you're cheating. This is league-sponsored cheating. And my only question is this from the league, or is this the teams getting a little creative when the ball comes to them? Because I will say we haven't seen everybody do it. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
Joey Slide sure hit some pretty nice. I think he hit a 59-yarder that had a bunch of carry to it. It was that probably was 70. 65, easy.
Yeah, but then you get the nerves when you're kicking that longer kick, and things don't always work out,
The NFL's cheating in its own game, Drew, and I don't like it. What else did we learn? Certainly we learned something.
Well, you're the one that said you got a couple of nuggets. I'm over here going, I don't know if I learned anything.
We learned the Ravens can put up some points even without Derrick Henry and Lamar running the ball. I mean, Derrick Henry had 10 touches? When was the last? You probably have to go back to middle school when Derrick Henry had 10 touches in a game.
Outside
At least
being
he
injured,
started.
yeah.
I mean, he missed some time in Alabama and Tennessee, I guess, when he started here. He wasn't the starter. They had DeMarco Murray.
No, they're definitely a high-powered offense.
Yeah.
And when their defense is on track, this is a very scary team. And it being the number one rushing team in the NFL last year, watching them only run the ball for 21 times for 45 yards, an average of 2.1 yards a carry, and they put up 41 points, that is scary for any team facing them.
And it could just be a case of Cleveland just selling out to the run and saying, we will stop Derrick Henry at any cost. Remember, Jim Schwartz was the D coordinator here with Derrick Henry for a year or two.
Yeah.
So a little bit of familiarity there. But the Ravens, the offense is churning it out. I mean,
Lamar just started passing the ball?
Between them and Buffalo, I mean, both of these teams obviously dropping tons of points between the first 2 weeks. Drew, which one would you pick to be the best offense at the end of the year? Better offense of the two.
Well, it's got to be Buffalo right now. I mean, it's got to be. They beat them. They
One
beat
time.
them. It doesn't matter. They beat them.
It took the Ravens collapsing. The Ravens were way out in front.
They still beat them. Now, I don't think this is going to be – I don't think the Bills are going to be the highest scoring team at the end of the year. I actually think that's going to go to the Detroit Lions, who put up 52 this week. That's the team, I believe, that's going to be able to do it. They just faced a wrecking ball in Green Bay with the Packers and their new improved defense that they have.
And Green Bay might have been up for the game a little bit, where it's like these guys took the division away from us last year. It, kind of felt like it might have been Green Bay's year too. I know Detroit was good from start to finish, and a lot of people had them picked as the favorite, but I think Green Bay was under the radar for how good they were. For them to go, them and Minnesota, to go in as wild card teams is insane. And again, this year, those three teams in the NFC or the NFC North. That is probably the strongest division in football, and it's probably not close unless McCarthy continues to be bad, which is another thing we might have learned, right? Like, 1 week, I was like, it's nerves, and I even talked you into it. I was like, I think he had a good recovery in the second half against Chicago, and then just got back to stinking against Atlanta. Like, that game was terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, we've also learned that NFL offensive lines are having a hard time stopping the pass rush. We have a lot of quarterbacks down right now. I think we have 4 starters down. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
With Joe Burrow, J.J. McCarthy, help me out here.
Jaden Daniels. We're missing one in there, too.
We're missing one.
Editor, that's okay. That's why we paid him the big bucks.
Editor will be right there. And that's something we're seeing. And these Monday night games that are happening as well, the lines seem to be seeping holes to the quarterback. So there has to be a change somewhere.
Yeah, and I was actually going to say that about Cincinnati because I feel like it's kind of been this way for the past year or two, where they spent all that money in the offensive line and they still kind of stink.
Yeah.
But I agree. It is kind of all over the board that offensive lines are kind of getting owned by these defensive lines. This certainly seems like, even though a lot of points are going on the board, the defensive lines are still making tons of plays. So is this just the NFL's – I can't say that. Is this just the NFL's dream that we're getting both offensive – points and points on the board, but also getting defensive sacks? We're getting defensive highlight plays where they're not stopping drives, they're not stopping and keeping points off the board, but you get to see those big plays where the linebacker comes off the edge and nails the quarterback.
Yeah.
Is that rigged too? Is it all just one big scheme, Drew, to keep me watching on Sunday? It's working.
It's working. I mean, it seems crazy. At one point in time, the offensive lines were the strongest thing that was in the NFL. You would think like the Cowboys, 7 years ago had the best offensive line. And, it just seems to be changing a little bit. Defensive players are getting stronger, better, scheming better, and it's just harder for offenses in the NFL to hold those defensive players back.
Yeah.
It is changing.
Totally agree. Did we learn it's time to let Russ cook again in New York? 451 yards before the most atrocious interception you've seen in a while. And, again, maybe we'll see that clip here.
Wilson. Deep ball. Oh, boy, threw it up for grabs, and it's intercepted.
Maybe we won't. We're giving the editor a lot of work here.
You're writing those down, right?
No. Why would I write them down? He doesn't need to know. He'll figure it out. Watch the video, dude. We need the views.
No, I think this is just a bad defense in Dallas. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Russell Wilson still has somewhat of a spark of.
But they played the Eagles well.
Right.
My voice cracked really bad when I said that, but they played the Eagles well, Drew. Sorry, guys.
Is that what you needed?
I didn't mean to break persona there.
No, they did. They did play him well. They also lost. They lost this game to the Cowboys. I think you're the one that says it more than I do. Stats don't matter if the W ain't there.
It's true.
You can throw 450 yards. If you're not winning, who cares?
Yeah, and it kind of was. Then again, if you didn't hit a 98-yard field goal, I mean, there probably is no overtime. You probably just win. No, and let's not forget, it took the Cowboys 3 possessions in that overtime to get the job done. So they battled to the last, and I think that Russell Wilson interception was just the straw that broke the camel's back for the Giants. But maybe they're on the way up. You know, I will say, if you can keep the passing game going, maybe they are on the way up. Maybe this is more than just one-a-week thing. Did we learn anything about the Colts and the Broncos? Because Daniel Jones has to be stopped at some point.
Yeah. I don't.
Did I just say that out loud?
Don't know.
Daniel Jones has to be stopped at some point?
I don't know.
Like, usually you finish that by saying, from throwing interceptions.
I don't know if this is something we've learned.
Okay.
But I think it's like one of those things where it's like,
you knew it all along.
You're going to need to do a little bit more research on Daniel Jones, because it's like, what is he doing in Indianapolis? He is turning that team around. I watched the end of that game live as it was playing, and I mean, they put it on his back. They're like, go out and win this game. Against, maybe the defense isn't as good as it was last year, which makes no sense. They didn't really lose a lot.
Week 1, it was like Miami collapsing more than anything.
No, I was
think
talking about Denver.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. But like week 2, those excuses were gone. Everyone thinks
absolutely.
Denver's going to be a top 2, 3, 4 defense.
Top 5.
Exactly.
The
Easy.
worst.
Yeah.
Right?
So theoretically, you never know. Sometimes teams fall off.
They just gave up a whole bunch of points, but maybe not 29, I think.
The real question is, how long does it go on? And is this just a case of Daniel Jones having nothing in New York? Because that was my excuse for, I don't know, how long was he in New York, Drew? Because I said it every year.
Forever.
They had nothing going on outside of Saquon. I mean, their offensive line was like bottom 2 oftentimes. Their wide receiving weapons up until they drafted Malik Neighbors were terrible. Outside of... Like, they made Darius Slayton a thing, but that was, like, the only thing they really had going on. Or Sterling Shepard. So, stop me when you're impressed, okay?
I'm not. So just kind of get some stats here. He was 23 of 43 for 316 yards with just 1 touchdown. Yeah. He did run a touchdown in. Now, Jonathan Taylor kind of showed up. He had 65 yards as a total with no touchdowns. I mean, are the Colts a serious team? Have we learned that the Colts are serious?
The offense plays like this, yeah. I mean, again, if you can do this against the best teams, best defenses, you can do it against the worst ones too.
Yeah.
And they get to play in the AFC South, which is like there's 6 games against defenses not as good as Denver's. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be a little worried about them.
Yeah, I think we've learned something in the Colts. Daniel Jones is a question mark for me. I think more studying needs to be had before.
You're not ready to crown him yet. It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
Okay. What's the number? How many? If we see this week 5, are you like it's the real deal? Week 8.
Let me pull up their schedule, because I think that'd be the best way to really look at. So they play your glorious Tennessee Titans next week.
Don't remind me.
And then
although Titans defense has been good for like 2 halves of these 4 that they've played. So like if we can just if we get like 2 halves to like finish a game, you never know. And then next week you just don't show up at all. You don't get off the bus.
Then they play the Rams after that, and then Vegas, and then Arizona.
Outside of the Rams, that's still looking pretty favorable, right?
That looks, well, did we learn that Arizona might be good? They're 2-0.
Yeah, they are. I have to defend Kyler Murray here. Are they 2-0 because of any other reason than that? I mean,
Kyler Murray hasn't been.
I don't hate their skill positions either. I know he hasn't lit the world on fire. I was joking about when I said it was.
He's not
Kyler
been
Murray.
a Daniel Jones.
No. He can only hope to be.
Which is so weird to say.
Where did Daniel Jones land in our QB power rankings? 28th, 29th?
30.
Yeah, not super high.
Well, no one saw this coming.
We might be revising that.
Well, we will, and that's why we did it. I would say by week 5, if they are 5-0, I know that's so obvious to say, but the Colts are 5-0 in week 5. I think they're the real deal. And I think they could be. Tennessee,
I'd even say like 4-1.
Rams.
If you drop one of those, like if they lose a close one of the Rams and they're 4-1, I'm still all in on them.
Yeah.
At that point, I'll be like, okay.
And they bounce back and beat the Raiders.
I'll say this: they could be 2-3, and the offense is playing like at this level, and the defense folds and plays terribly. That I'll say like Daniel Jones and the offense is the real thing.
You've learned that Daniel Jones might be the real thing
at that point, but not the Colts themselves.
Gotcha. I agree with that.
Could it be Staken as a head coach? You know, he's been kind of saddled with Anthony Richardson. I know that was kind of the plan of, he came from Philadelphia. They had Jalen Hurts, who was a similar type of prospect, not from necessarily. I mean, physically gifted, probably needs some polish.
I like Daniel Jones. I wasn't like super high on him when he was coming out. I never liked Anthony Richardson coming out. So
yeah, I didn't really like Daniel Jones coming out, and I shook the guy's hand at the draft stage, like, good luck, man. There was nobody there. Do you remember that? I literally walked up and talked to him for 20 minutes.
We talked about this, yeah.
I know. It was just the craziest moment. And he's like, oh, yeah, hey. And I was like, where do you think you're going? He's like, pretty confident. Pretty confident it's going to be a good day. He wouldn't tell me the number, but he went 6 overall.
Yeah.
He knew it.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Do we learn anything from Eagles Chiefs? We learned – actually, no, I'm going to let you go first because this is obviously your team. You see all the Kansas City merchandise
so
around
I have to get hurt by this. We learned that
I'm going to let you like kind of softball it, and then I'll drive the dagger home.
Okay, thank you. We learned that the tush push is not an NFL football play. I don't care what anyone says. I hate that play. I've hated it forever. I
do too.
We've learned that these are two really good teams, and could you imagine if Kansas City was healthy? Not saying that they would have won. I'm not saying that. It just would have been a better game.
What's it like having a team as bad as mine? We're both 0-2 on the year.
0-2. That's fine.
It's not fine. It's not fine. I'm ready to win.
I'll just have to cry into my 4 Super Bowl rings that I have and tell how miserable my
AFC
life.
Championships, baby. I'm counting them.
No, I think we learned that these are two really good teams, and it's I can't say that. I was going to say maybe we'll see them in the Super Bowl, but right now the Chiefs don't look like they're doing that.
Right?
We got to turn around.
Is
0-2 done for the Chiefs?
I was going to ask you that, and I was like, no. Come on. No, they'll be all right.
No.
They'll be all right. I mean, you got to get your best receiver back before we're like it's over. Although you got to wait 6 weeks for that.
Well, I mean, I talked to you about it today. I said Mahomes has never played with Rice, Worthy, and Brown in the same game at one time. So hopefully at some point in time this year we can have that happen. We haven't had it for a while. I still think they're trying to figure some stuff out on the offensive line, but you can't win a game when your quarterback is a leading rusher of your team, and that's what's been happening with Kansas City.
Tell that to Lamar.
That's
different. It's a little
that's
different.
a whole different
scenario. You can't do it if you're not planning for your quarterback to be a leading rusher, right?
But yeah, that's what I learned, I think.
I think so too. I think that's do we want to say anything about the Vikings and Falcons? I know we touched a little bit on McCarthy. Let's round it out with that. Is it over for McCarthy? Are you out?
I'm not out. It's rough to say out, but I was never in fully because he had one good preseason game, then got banged up, and then they're like, he's our guy. We're getting rid of Kirk Cousins.
And Sam Darnold. They didn't try to bring Sam Darnold back after last season.
Yeah.
Which up until you watched him play, everyone would have been like, yeah, but it's Sam Darnold. So, like, if you were in a coma for all of 2024, you'd be like, okay.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, that 2024 season was pretty special, and they still let Darnold walk because they like J.J. McCarthy that much, which is impressive.
Yeah, out is hard. That's tough. But when you go 11-21, 158 yards, and 2 interceptions.
Say something nice about J.J. McCarthy right now.
Oh, man. Penalty flag.
Yeah. Unnecessary rudeness.
Wow.
15-second penalty.
Do you want to explain this while I do this?
Yeah, of course. We've decided that if it's easy to be negative, especially later in the season. It's easy to be negative on some of these guys. So we've decided if we come to a point where we're being too negative, we're going to interrupt the show. And Drew is going to be the first penalty holder here and try to correct his mistake and say something nice about J.J. McCarthy that all week has been nothing but rudeness from you, Drew. Say something nice about him.
I like the fact that we saw him use his legs a little bit more.
I like his haircut.
And he did 5 for 25 yards with a long of 16 yards rushing. I think today's NFL, you have to be able to run the ball out of the quarterback position.
Okay.
And seeing J.J. McCarthy do that is kind of promising.
Really like that.
And I think that's where I can say something nice.
Really like that. I think long term, you don't want to set that as a strategy of like, oh, well, we have his legs to fall back on because I think that leads to injuries. Yeah. But you're seeing it more and more in the NFL where teams are saying, if it's free yardage, my quarterback needs to contribute with his legs, not just his arm. So,
yeah.
I think that does it. We didn't talk Rams-Titans, I guess. We don't have to. I'll say I learned something I already knew, which is Matt Stafford's a pretty good quarterback. I mean, second all-time getting to 60,000 passing yards behind only Matt Ryan in terms of age, or maybe it was number of games that it was. Probably that. Still, second fastest to 60K through the air. He absolutely tore the Titans apart. I mean, I was wrong about Devontae Adams. I take it back. I might be right like week 8 when he's hurt, but, man, he tore Snead up. Yeah, I think that's about it, man. Did we learn anything else? Is there anything you want to get off your chest before we round it out there?
No, I think that kind of nails it. I think that kind of what we learned.
I think we learned a lot. That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the kicking, where it's like if Pandora's box is open and teams are watching this saying, okay, I know they're cheating up their kicking ball, I'm going to start doing it too. We might be the Arena League football. We might be Arena League here before too long, where every drive ends with at least a field goal.
Because you did it to me. Penalty.
Say something nice about Roger Goodell.
Say something nice about what the kicking could do for the NFL.
It could add a lot of excitement. You could really see some scores get on the board because every drive puts up 3 points.
Man, that was so sarcastic.
That was nice.
And not real.
That was nice. That was true. I might have been sarcastic, but that was true, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me say something nicer. There's going to be a lot of records broken. Stay tuned for that. A lot of kickers might earn some money when you're kicking those 75-yard field goals.
Maybe those guys deserve a bigger contract.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, show them some love.
Absolutely.
First $40 million kicker incoming this offseason, right?
It's a possibility.
No. 40?
In 10 years.
Four. No, they make 4 already. Okay. All right. Well, I think that about does it for me, guys.
Guys, if we missed something, if you learned something, please comment. Let us know. We'll try to reach out to you and debate it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to hear what you learned this week and set the record straight for us. What did we miss?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as always, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit share, follow, like, everything that you can to help us.
Send it to your grandmother.
Yeah, exactly. We'll take her her viewership too.
Yes, absolutely.
So, for Sports Around the Bar, as always, I'm Jake. This is Drew. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.